Hello pilots! Update 0.32 has changed a lot in the game and enriched it with new content. In this video I would like to talk about the A-19 Brawler, a relative of the A-10 Warthog in mind. The Brawler is designed for close air support, meaning it can engage targets on the ground or water at medium to short range. We immediately take a look at which Brawler toys are available for this, then I would like to go into other aspects of the aircraft and show it in action. But as usual, first the armament. With a remarkable wingspan of 19 meters, the Brawler offers plenty of space for various weapon systems. But let's start in the middle of the airframe, or rather inside. Unlike jets, the Brawler does not have an internal weapon bay, but it does have two internal 35mm autocannons with 750 rounds. Compared to all other airframes, this is the largest caliber carried internally and accordingly has an enormous impact. Alone or in combination with other cannons, the 35mm autocannon can be used efficiently to destroy buildings. But that's not all, and no, it's getting extra fun. At the center pylon, the Brawler can carry more cannons with it. Pilots can choose between a 30mm rotary cannon with 1200 rounds or a 57mm autocannon with 150 rounds. Yes! 57mm, just like the Anvil, projectiles with a time fuse. The Brawler calculates how long a projectile takes to reach the target and programs the projectile accordingly when firing. The 57mm autocannon is suitable for any type of target: airframes, missiles, vehicles, ships and buildings. Okay, hitting missiles is not so easy, but not impossible either. If you prefer a brrrr to a pock pock pock, you can switch to the 30mm rotary cannon. With its high rate of fire, it can do a lot of damage in a short period of time, and when combined with a 35mm autocannon, saturates the air with lead. But that's not all, because the Brawler can also carry 20mm autocannons. This makes it possible to carry 3 different cannon types at the same time, all of which are capable of dishing out a lot of damage, as befits a Brawler. If you don't have a heavy cannon on the center pylon, you can equip the inner fuselage next to the 20mm autocannon with missiles and bombs. First of all, the Brawler cannot fall back on the nuclear option. In return, it can carry many conventional weapons. In addition to AGM-68s and Kingpins, bombs also find their place. The spectrum ranges from light glide bombs, the PUP-80LR, to the heavy glide bombs, the PUP-250LR, and the good old GPO-500. The outer fuselage pylons offer a little bit more space, so in addition to the previous selection, AGM-48s can also be carried in a pack of 3, and the GPO-2P Auger Bunker Buster. The inner wing pylons also offer enough space and are strong enough to carry Auger, as well as various variants of the previous selection. The middle wing pilots can no longer carry Auger, but a 3-pack AGM-48s is still possible. The outer wing pilots can still carry GPO-500, but they are also the only pylons to which IRM-S2 can be attached, so that the Brawler can defend itself with 4 IR missiles. For defense, the Brawler also has 120 flares and the jammer. When it comes to flares, it is important to make sure that several flares are dropped at once when dropped. The jammer is effective and helps the conspicuous Brawler to fend off incoming radar-guided missiles. The Brawler is able to take off even from small airports, thanks to the large wingspan, which also ensures sufficient lift at low speeds. The large wingspan may be the reason why it cannot spawn at aircraft carriers. For this purpose, it can be started from any hangar or revetment. With its prop fan engines, the Brawler accelerates moderately. It makes progress and also reaches a top speed of a good 740 km per hour, but it takes time. The Brawler is not designed for air-to-air combat and therefore does not require much maneuverability if things go according to plan. With a stall speed of 220 km per hour, the Brawler can still be maneuvered confidently even in slow gliding, which makes it easier to aim at ground targets. Experienced pilots are also able to defeat less experienced pilots with the Brawler in dogfights. If the Brawler's cannon hit once, it can be enough to turn a Revoker into a fireball. But actually, the Brawler likes it smooth. It can be flown well close to the terrain, which makes it possible to evade enemy radar. It is important to be careful not to fly too fast in order to be able to use as much cover as possible. In addition, it is very advertisable to prepare a small flight plan before each sortie, which make it clear to you how you want to attack a target. Direct approaches at high altitudes are usually not a good idea. The Brawler is also not designed for high altitudes. At 8 km altitude it stops. The prop fans don't feel like working anymore. The Brawler likes it close to the ground and flies there very smoothly and stably. For radar systems, the Brawler is a beacon. Without armament, the Brawler has an RCS value of 0.6. In comparison, the Cricket has a value of 0.5 and the wonderful Chicane has a value of 0.02. The higher the value, the easier it is for a radar system to detect an airframe. The Brawler should therefore avoid being detected by radar or follow a flight path that allows it to fly perpendicular to the radar source. Then the internal jammer can be used to fend off incoming missiles. The Brawler itself does not have an internal radar. It also only has an optical reconnaissance range of 10 km. That's not little, but not much either. For scouting I prefer the Chicane, because I can use very small bumps in the landscape as cover with a helicopter. After a few rounds of escalation, however, you know roughly where the enemy is and can plan reconnaissance turns for the Brawler accordingly. The Brawler is ideal for what it is intended for, the destruction of ground units at medium to short range. It can carry an enormous number of weapons with it. How about 22 AGM-48s or 16 AGM-68s? With these missiles it is possible to fire at targets that are available in the data link from cover. AGM-48s are very suitable for saturating heavily fortified positions. I like to use the AGM-68s against ships. Of course, you can also carry bombs with you and use them to fight targets, but I find the missiles much easier to handle. In game sessions with Ultronsler, greetings go out, we tested what the Brawler is capable of. For example, a Brawler on the side of the BDF can take off directly from K92 highway strip in an escalation match and fly to Sanddrift. Followed by an Ibis, it is possible to neutralize the entire air defense at Sanddrift and take the airport in a short time, even before Dust Ball has been captured. Or you can fly to Vigil K in pairs after securing SPGA. An approach with 2 Brawlers is enough to take out the entire air defense. Admittedly, it took us a few tries until everything worked out, but it is quite possible to prepare the island for a conquest with team play. As long as you use the terrain as cover and fly as low as possible and enemy jets are not interested in you, the chances of survival are high. But it should be remembered that especially on PvP servers, opposing pilots lick their fingers to shoot down a Brawler. In addition, they rarely get involved in a dogfight. If the enemy has radar-guided missiles with him, he can approach the Brawler in such a way that it has no chance to dodge and become a safe kill. I'll go out on a limb and say, as good as the Brawler is at fighting ground targets, it is bad at air combat. I must confess that I did not welcome the Brawler with open arms, because it takes away some of the importance of the Chicane. The Brawler is better suited than the Chicane in many situations due to its enormous armament, especially when it comes to reaching a destination quickly. It is cheaper and can also be obtained with rank 2. So why fly the Chicane? This is not an objective view but an emotional dilemma. Well, it was. Because in practice the differences are huge, which is simply due to the nature of airplanes and helicopters. Attacks that I can fly with the chicane I can't fly with the Brawler because it's too fast and can't hover. And attacks that I can fly with the Brawler would take a lot more time with the chicane. The chicane is more like a ninja who gets very close to his target undetected and then strikes precisely. The Brawler is rather, well, I think the name fits it quite well. I think each new airframe makes the game much more complex. So I welcomed the Brawler very much and was able to enjoy the airframe through the games with Ultronsler. I use missiles to take out the defenses, the cannons then help to dismantle buildings. I think if you wanted an A-10 in the game, you can consider yourself very lucky. For my part, I am looking forward to exploring more tactics with the Brawler and wish every pilot a lot of fun with their own experiments. With this in mind, have fun flying and don't forget, fly safe.